Today's video we're going to be talking about Jedi Standards. Ever since the Jedi community really started solidifying into the community and path that it is today, we've been talking about Jedi Standards. Standards are a pretty recognizable thing. They give us something to plan for, it gives us a goal to work towards, and you see it in just about everything. If you're looking at a university, they have a very set requirement, a very set standard of what it takes to earn that master's degree. However, change university, go to a different state, and that requirement may change a bit. Not only that, but the material being taught within the specific classes is going to change. This also is seen in the martial arts. You can say that you study Taekwondo and have a certain colored belt, and that would have a certain understanding of what you should have learned to earn that belt. The standard of that and the requirement of that may actually change from school to school, especially as you go around the world. Let's not forget that a Taekwondo requirement is certainly going to be different than a Shotokan karate requirement. Those are two very different things. This is no different for the Jedi community. Now we have our standard core, we have the things that we expect of all Jedi, but that's going to change a little bit from website to website and organization to organization. But what can you do if you're interested in becoming a Jedi, or if you're just starting out? What standards are there for you to live by? Maybe you don't have time to partake in an online Jedi Academy, or maybe there are just no offline groups around you. Maybe you just don't feel that organized Jedi training is right for you, but you still want to live the path and be a Jedi in your life. So what standards and what things can you do to make sure that you are living faithfully to the Jedi path? Over the years, there have been a few documents created by Jedi for Jedi, which kind of outline certain specifications and ideals within the Jedi path. Practices, concepts, rules that we adhere to, things of that nature. Now you can certainly look at the inspiration and kind of look at Star Wars and gain something from that, right? Empire Strikes Back, there's a lot of good Yoda quotes in there that certainly will help form your viewpoint. You look at the Jedi Code from the role-playing games. Likewise, you will find the Jedi Rules of Behavior offer a nice guideline of some kind of do's and don'ts of the Jedi path. They provide a nice starting point, but none of these really go into any depth. So the best thing that you can do is dive into the text, which have been created for Jedi by Jedi. These are things that were born out of our own experience, out of our own study. These are 10 to 20 years of trial and error, of study, application, and then reforming the material so that we have something to work from. So the Jedi Circle is a great example of that on this channel, and the Jedi Circle was created back in 2004 and published online in 2005. Basically, the text is there as a kind of guideline, as a core that you can follow. It is a standard of Jedi living, meaning you can use it as a goal and as a way to formulate your life to make sure that you are living the life of a Jedi. But it's not the only document out there. You can look at the 21 Maxims of Jediism on sites like Temple of the Jedi Order, Temple of the Jedi Force. You can find it really easily. The 21 Maxims were adapted from the Code of Chivalry, or one of them, and is used to help formulate a core of Jedi ideals. Another document you can find really easily is the 33 Teachings of the Jedi. Again, this is something that used to be on the site Jedi Sanctuary. Their Facebook group is still active, and you can, again, find that really easily. The Jedi Precepts is a good one. It's a long list of do's and don'ts. It's really fun, and it was modeled kind of after the Jedi Rules of Behavior. So that has much more structure to it that could be used as a standard and guideline. You have the Jedi Method, which kind of covers Jedi ethical thinking that you can dive into. The main thing to remember with all of this, though, is agreement is not required. You have to dive into these things. It's much like the inspiration. You have to dive into it, you have to study it, you have to apply it. But before you do, you really have to understand it, right? Before you go out trying to live something, you want to have a core understanding of what it means to you and how it will benefit, or how it's supposed to benefit your life. That way you have something to work off of. You have something to judge when you do apply it. Was this a success? Was this a failure? You need to have a kind of an understanding of what these principles are supposed to do in your everyday life. You want to know it first. In order to understand the Jedi Code, you have to know the Jedi Code. And then through application, you gain your understanding. With that experience comes understanding. It's all well and good to say a Jedi is supposed to be at peace, have knowledge, serenity, harmony. But what does that really mean? What are we talking about with those subjects? How does that actually reflect in your everyday life? Yes, you can know the 5 tenets of the Jedi, but do you know and understand how they actually apply to your life, and how you can tell if you are actually applying them in a positive and beneficial manner? Gotta know it first though. With all these things, explore it, ask questions, get involved if you can. If this is your only medium, go ahead, ask questions here, and I can ramble at you on any subjects. Remember that it's a process. There's no rush here. Take your time, learn the material, apply the material, and then rinse and repeat. Thank you for watching. You know where the buttons are. Click like, dislike, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Share the video, ask questions, leave a comment, whatever makes you happy. May the Force be with you.